I work in production at PAWfect Crate Company, mainly helping with scheduling and meeting output targets, especially during busy periods. I've seen how things operate day to day as the company has grown. One of the biggest challenges is clarity. It's not always clear what's expected. Roles and responsibilities aren't always fully defined, so people end up figuring things out as they go. We're expected to make decisions, but it's not always clear what decisions we actually own. There isn't a lot of direct guidance in day-to-day work. Managers and employees are expected to work things out independently. That works better for people who've been here longer. But for newer employees, it can feel uncertain. Sometimes you're not sure if you're doing things the right way. When issues come up, they don't always get resolved quickly. Part of that is, it's not always clear who owns the problem, so things can continue longer than they probably should. There are also times when direction isn't consistent. Different managers may prioritize different things, especially during busy periods, so you might hear one priority from one person and something different from someone else. That makes it harder to know what should come first. Communication across departments can be inconsistent. Teams use different tools, so information isn't always shared the same way. There isn't really a single place where everything is updated, so people can be working from different information at the same time. Because of that, information isn't always current, and decisions are sometimes made using incomplete or outdated data. That affects scheduling, inventory, and order fulfillment. It can lead to mistakes, delays, or having to redo work. Decisions are made across different areas, but not always in a coordinated way. Different managers focus on different priorities, so it's not always clear what the most important issue is or what should be addressed first. Training is another area where things vary. There isn't a consistent onboarding process. Most of what you learn comes from other employees, not structured training. So experiences can be very different depending on who trains you. Over time, that affects how people approach their work. When expectations aren't clear, it's harder to see how your role connects to company goals. So most people focus on completing their assigned tasks. There isn't a lot of feedback or recognition beyond that. Overtime is pretty common during high-demand periods. It helps the company meet production needs, but it's not always communicated in advance. Some employees are okay with it. Others find it more difficult, especially if they have responsibilities outside of work. There are also concerns about whether workload expectations are applied consistently. At the same time, there's been more pressure to keep costs under control. Production has increased, but it doesn't always feel like everything is becoming more efficient. So there's a sense that keeping up with demand is getting more expensive. Over time, that can affect how people feel about staying. Some employees are very committed, but the way things are structured can make it challenging. The systems we use aren't fully connected. Inventory is tracked in different spreadsheets, and information isn't always shared in real time. There aren't integrated reports or dashboards, so data often has to be pulled together manually. From what I understand, there isn't a lot of detailed visibility into which products or orders are actually the most profitable, so decisions are being made without always having that full picture. With the potential retail partnership, there are some questions. It would increase sales, but it would also require more consistency, more coordination, and more structure. So it feels like a balance between expanding and making sure operations can actually support it. There are a lot of things that could be improved, but it's not always clear which issue matters most, or where to start. There are definitely strengths in how the company operates, especially flexibility and independence. But clearer expectations, better coordination, and more consistent systems could make a big difference.